You hear it all the time. There is no detail too small in a murder investigation, and you can multiply that by 4 in the Idaho case. But one detail that has just surfaced is 17 seconds long, and it is anything but small. It's new surveillance video of Kaylee Goncalves and Maddy Mogen on the night that they were murdered, and the video was captured at 1:30 in the morning. They're on their way to the now infamous food truck after spending the evening at a corner club bar. That's the corner club famous in downtown Moscow. The surveillance cameras at a local business captured the video of the girls as they made their way down the sidewalk towards the food truck from the bar. If you take a look at a map, you can see exactly where they had been at the corner club, 10:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., and where they were going to the grub truck, 1:40 a.m., and where this camera captured the images on Main Street. It even captured what the girls were saying, and you can hear it clear as a bell. Let's listen.
What did you say to Adam? I told Adam everything.
Did you hear that? Kaylee yells to Maddy, "What did you say to Adam?" And Maddy answers, "Like I told Adam everything." So here it is again. You can clearly hear that exchange between the two girls.
What did you say to Adam? I told Adam everything.
But the $64,000 question is, who is Adam? And it's a good question. And another good question, who on earth was the hooded man walking down the sidewalk with the girls in that video? There is an uncanny resemblance to the hooded man who was standing behind the girls at the food truck the whole time that they were there, like plus 10 minutes. And the man that police said they cleared early on. Joining me now is Shanon Gray. He is the attorney representing the family of Kaylee Goncalves. Mr. Gray, thank you so much for being here. So let's start with Adam. Who exactly is Adam? And has Adam been helpful at all in this investigation?
It's my understanding that Adam is just the bartender at the corner bar that they were referring to. I think it was just conversation they were having between the two of them. I don't think he's involved in the investigation at all, though. So.
But wouldn't he? I mean, you've done so much investigative work, and you've been a prosecutor and a defense attorney in murder cases, so you know how it works. And I would imagine that anybody who saw these girls in the hours before they died might be able to at least say who was in the bar, whether they witnessed anything unusual. What was it when they said, "I told Adam everything"? Do you have any idea what that meant? Was that something Adam could enlighten everybody to?
I have no idea. I can't speak to that conversation. I would hope that the Moscow Police Department would follow up with this video and some of the statements that were made in it. So that's what we're having faith that they followed up on that, on the video. So
yeah. Amen to that. What about the notion that there's a lot of sort of people triangulating social media? As you know, there's cyber sleuths who sometimes wreak havoc, but sometimes really provide some pretty good investigative help to police. And there is some connection between Adam and Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. There's pictures of them. I think on TikTok, there's a picture of Adam with Kaylee's dog. So they clearly have a close friendship. Do you know anything about the connection between Adam and Kaylee's ex-boyfriend?
No, I don't. We don't have any of that information. So, this is stuff that I think people are just, doing some digging and it's part of the investigation process. When you're not getting a lot of information, people start digging into a lot of different things and trying to figure out things on their own. And we believe that the community is who will help solve this case anyway. So, we encourage people to continue to do the things that they need to do and help out the police in the investigation.
All right. So what about the young man in the hoodie who's walking with Kaylee and Maddy down the sidewalk and who looks so much like the young hooded man who was seemingly lurking in the background but did not appear to be with them in any way at the food truck? Does Kaylee's family believe it's the same person? And is there any concern about how early he was cleared in all of this?
Well, we believe it. Looking at the video, we think it's probably the same person. This video appears to be shot right before the food truck. They get to the food truck. So I think they think that it's the same person that was with them at the food truck. In regards to clearing people, I think clearing is one of those words that investigators use as far as they might clear someone and then they might get new additional information and revisit that person somehow down the line. If they've cleared him in this, I'm not sure that they can't revisit any potential suspects that they might have.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.